Michael for On the Town with episode 1.9. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you back. There's so many things I have to tell you, wonderful things about the company and projects that we are all involved in addition to a slew of content under our roster for a relatively new company. We have 5 projects lined up for 2013 to 14. We have been attending casting sessions for the last month, called in over 150, we're calling in over 120 actors for callbacks. The notices were just emailed out this past weekend, so actors, check your mailboxes and make sure you get your appointments back by this Sunday, because we have agents who would like to pick up some of the appointments. Now, in addition to all of that, I've been busy. I started my own live broadcast here in Manhattan of my podcast, Being Social. This is a live on-air podcast airing every Friday evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's an open forum for the public to voice your concerns about public issues. If you missed episode 2 of the podcast, you are welcome to go to acclaimtheatricals.com, our company site, and if you look under the podcast button, you'll find it there. In addition to, you'll see on GregoryMichael.com as well as Vimeo and YouTube, we posted some episodes as well. Now, I've also just finished the complete listing of the full season for the roster of season 1. So all the episodes are online for you to see on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. You can see the titles and the topics, and you can choose any that you might find pertinent to yourself. Don't hesitate to send us an email or give us a ring and let us know, and we will try to bring you on air during this season. And if we don't get you this season, we'll get you for season 2, which will start in the fall. Yeah, I have been busy writing and creating content. It's what I love to do, and I love to hear from you guys. I'd love to give voice to your concerns. That's why I started this project, and it seems to be going really well. So I'm glad to know you appreciate it. And our next episode, episode 4, airs next Friday, May 31st at the same time every Friday at 7:30 p.m. We have a special guest coming on that we think you want to check, and we think you want to call in and ask some questions and listen in. So by all means, do participate. My mantra is be part of the conversation, don't be part of the problem. So again, you can RSVP by going to Eventbrite. They're not our sponsor, but they are hosting this platform for us, so you can, set aside 20 tickets for every episode, all 12 of them. So first come, first serve. If there's something like education that's important to you, I just did one on a student loan crisis, then by all means, give us a ring or send us an email and let us know. We might revisit that topic again, because I think it's affecting a lot of people. Now, before I launch into the vast array of events that are going on in Manhattan right now, I think it's important to remind you that, remember last year we launched a walk-on-roll contest. Well, no one ever solved the trivia questions to those. There were 3 hosted currently still on our website. So what I thought would be fun to do is to give you the answers to those questions. Now, they weren't very difficult. 2 of 3 of them were very mainstream. So here we go. Question 1. This was Greek mythology. The daughter of Acrisius, king of Argos, was imprisoned by her father in a bronze tower because an oracle said that a son of hers would kill him. Anything? Nothing? Dana, D-A-N-A-E. That's right. I know Greek mythology, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. All right, so we'll do something a little more contemporary for you. Question number 2 is cinema. Okay, there's a hint for you. It's cinema. Now, I think that you guys could have solved this. I just think you weren't really engaged enough. I would have gotten my friends involved. That way you could have, might have locked in a role before we have another session of casting, but here we go. Now, quote, you dated Madonna at the ripe old age of 24. One might ask if there's anything left. Anything? Nothing. Basquiat, come on, guys. That was Jeffrey Wright's pivotal role, sort of put him on the map. And of course, the quote came from his close friend and mentor, Andy Warhol. That's right. It's one of my favorite films. And again, it was one of Jeffrey's, I think, his tour de force performances. Of course, I still watch the film. I have the DVD at home. But, all right, so question number 3. Cinema, hint. A little dialogue for you. You should spit in my face. Excuse me, Colonel? You're dirt. They think you're dirt. Paul. Who, sir? Who's we? They think the superpowers, everything you believe in, they think you're worthless. They think you're worthless. don't understand what you're saying, sir. Oh, come on, Paul, don't bullshit me. You're the smartest guy here. Anything? Oh, come on, guys, this is easy. Hotel Rwanda. Of course. It was one of my favorite films. Don Cheadle, he's the man. Yeah, so there you go. All right, so listen, we believe that everyone should have a second chance. So what we're going to do is relaunch the contest later this fall to coincide with the fundraiser and the screening event for the short film Impetus. We'll be raffling some prizes, some electronic prizes. That's all I'm saying. So I think you want to register, and it's a good idea to go ahead and register for our newsletter to stay in touch with what's going on and when things will be coming around, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel or our Vimeo, or we're all over the web. So just Google us, you'll find us. All right. Now, my original idea for this series was to be a bi-monthly series, but I've been so busy with writing and copywriting and editing and castings and everything else. So I think the easiest thing to do, instead of trying to compile everything into 1 hour episode like we're network TV, is to break it up. So this episode will be dedicated to theater, and next week's episode 1.10 will be dedicated to all the music events, that I've attended over the last month. And believe me, there's a lot of them. I'm doing you a favor, but they're all great stuff. So that way you guys can pick and choose. If you're a theater person, then you listen to this episode, and of course you're welcome to listen to the next episode as well. I mean, there was performances at the Tribeca Performing Arts Center, Lincoln Center, Carnegie Hall. So there you go. That's what I'm going to do. Now, talk about second chances. There's a great organization, a nonprofit called the SAG Foundation. It's a foundation that's totally separate from SAG. It's a nonprofit entity. And what it does is it helps artists by not only educating them and giving them workshops and talkbacks and all of those things, but it's also there in emergency relief. Like, for example, when Storm Sandy displaced a lot of our union members, the SAG Foundation was there. And they've been there for a lot of people for years, and as the organization has grown, they offer so many events throughout the year that it's absolutely one of those nonprofits that you can feel good about donating to, because you're helping your fellow artists. That's one of the organizations that I truly believe in, and that I do attend various functions. As a matter of fact, I just attended a function this past week to see one of the talkbacks that they hold throughout the year, and it happened to be Keith Carradine. Now, this was a really great storytelling guy, but not only that, he was a guy of great integrity. It's something that I truly believe in, that you can maintain. It takes a lot of work in this business to maintain integrity, but this guy's a really classy guy, and he talked about his discipline and how his dad instilled hard work. Now, I saw Keith in the recent Broadway production of Hands on a Hard Body. It premiered at the Brooks Atkinson Theater here in Manhattan. It's based on a story of down-and-out Texans competing in an endurance contest to win a new truck, hence the name Hard Body. I must admit, when I first heard the title, I thought, oh, is this one of those perverse kind of... But no, it's really about all these characters on stage that you get to like and you get to know, and it's really well done. It's a very challenging piece. It had a very short run, however. It premiered at La Jolla Playhouse out on the West Coast. Of course, if you know La Jolla, it's one of America's premier regional theater companies. The producers really backed it and workshopped it, and they decided, you know what, this is good enough and different enough to take to Broadway. Well, unfortunately, it didn't have as long a run as it probably should have. It's one of those musicals. It's innovatively staged. The writer is Trey Anastasia from the indie band Fish, as a matter of fact. The book and lyrics came from Liz Green. Now, its world premiere again came from La Jolla Playhouse, and La Jolla, if you know anything about them, their stamp of approval goes a long way, hence it did make it to Broadway. But Keith talked about how his role wasn't very flashy, but you know, sometimes the most noteworthy role in a performance, in a play or a film, is the role that isn't so flashy, that's very understated, because I think as an actor you have to work harder with those roles, and not to try to steal a scene, but you have to make sure that your character is truly developed all the way through at its core, because you may not say a lot, but it's all in the emotions and how you connect with the other characters. Now, another play that came to Broadway and didn't have a very long run, award-winning as a matter of fact, was The Testament of Mary, starring Fiona Shaw. Now, if you know this lady, you know that she can hold her own on a stage, and she's certainly good at picking material. I saw the play and I tweeted about it. If you want to see what I had to say, you can look at my Twitter handle, Michael, and you'll see that I said this was a Tony-worthy performance, and indeed, there was a tour de force. I saw her in several other plays. I'd seen her in Medea. I'd seen her in Happy Day. In lady she is a tour de force. And the fact that the play only had a very short run is very depressing. It's very disparaging because it makes me wonder, well, what's going on Broadway? If someone like Fiona Shaw, who gives a great performance, and I'm a pretty hard critic, who gives a great performance, and she can't get a play to stay on Broadway for more than a few weeks. What does that say about the hope for the future of people who are aspiring to work on Broadway? I know I'm one of those people. That's one thing that brought me to New York. Playing the boards, that dedicated artistry. Another great play that I saw is The Big Knife, starring Bobby Cannavale. Now, this was a really interesting play. Roundabout did it again. They have a knack for picking a good line of plays. It was really good to see Bobby on stage. I had seen him working on Boardwalk Empire, and of course he's done a number of other things that you've seen in stage and film. But this is the one, Boardwalk Empire. I think it's the one that really showed how solid of an actor he is. So I don't know if it's still running. I'm not really sure. If it is, you definitely want to see it. It's got a solid cast. So again, this is just a recap of what I did over the last couple of weeks in addition to the castings through Theater Resources Unlimited. Again, actors, look at your mailboxes because the audition notices, the callback notices are there. You guys did a great job and I would like to bring you in. Also, Terry Schreiber gave us a ring and said, hey, Gregory, you're an alum. Why don't you come and check out our showcase, our annual showcase? And I did. And it was a really pleasant evening. There were 20 actors. They did scenes. You really got to, they chose good scenes for them and they got to really display their talent. So I've also included some of those guys in the callbacks. The auditions are being held mid-June, around the 20th. So 2 days of auditions. I'm looking to fill, like I said, we have 5 projects under our roster for 2013 to 2014. You'll see when you go online to look at our company site, you'll see the billboards for all of those productions up and running. So again, you guys friend us, like us. We've been getting some great feedback from our friends on Facebook and Twitter, even about my podcast that I'm offering. I just offered someone today to bring his parents on. He said they really enjoy the show, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm glad to know that it's an effort that, it's my way of giving back to you guys, to the public, because I get frustrated sometimes and I need an outlet to express how I feel, and you can't count on mainstream media to do that, but this is an open forum. It is, again, every Friday evening, 7:30 p.m., broadcast live here in Manhattan. I am your host and moderator, and what you do is you just send us an email at admin, A-D-M-I-N, at acclaimtheatricals.com a week before, or a few days before. After looking at the Eventbrite roster, you just do a search. If you don't land right on our homepage of the reservation page on Eventbrite, just type in podcast Being Social. You'll see my name, Gregory Michael, and I've already completed a list of the first season roster with all 12 episodes. We're doing everything from racial profiling and the student loan crisis, the last 2 episodes. We have May 31st, next Friday, we're doing diversity in entertainment. I'm bringing a longtime guest and friend who is an actor on the West Coast. We started studying here in New York together. We were roommates, all that good stuff. So he'll be guest starring next week. And if you look at the bio of each show, I've included links for each guest who will be coming on the show to take you to their IMDb profile so you can see who they are. In fact, Morgan Freeman recently friended me on Facebook, so I'm hoping that Mr. Freeman might be interested in coming on and imparting some of his talent and wisdom with our show. I'm sure he has a voice and would like to. He has plenty to say. In addition, I was recently friended by another noteworthy Al Pacino. So I'm looking forward to having some of these guys come on the show, hopefully, and give us some of their wisdom. They've been around for a long time. They've sustained careers, and I'm sure we can learn a lot from them. So do yourself a solid, do us a solid, friend us, like us, let us know if some of the topics of the first season appeal to you, and if not, if you have other ideas, let me know. I'll start programming soon for the second season. This is Gregory Michael, thanking you for joining me for episode 1.9 of On the Town. This will be posted live on YouTube, Vimeo, AcclaimTheatricals.com, and GregoryMichael.com. We're out there, so we'll see you soon next weekend with the next episode of Being Social, episode 1.4, Diversity in the Entertainment Industry, as well as the next episode of On the Town, episode 1, season 1, episode 10, and that will be all the musical excitement that I've enjoyed. So, this is Gregory Michael saying good night.